So I should be back. That's weird. I don't know, man. That's weird. I guess since we're on this topic, so this is going to be kind of the reverse a little bit. Actually, cube 12 by 4 is this original. So let's do. Oh, now you can hear me. Okay, I just had to restart my stream. That's weird. That is, it's quite weird. Quite weird. Thanks for the heads up. I'm going to do 16 by 16. This is going to be, I think it's 12 by 4. We'll just do it for a 12 by 4. So that's going to be the area we care about. So WS will do day. Now we'll do image resize 64 by 64. And then basically, I think we would be doing little 8 by 8. So it would be something like this. Something like this. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. Right, something like that. All right, so save that. Let's import this new texture just to help get our ideas right here. Facing image import WS day. Click apply. Copy. Actually, that's the only face we need. Right, and then you'll have your days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I want to get fancy with this, I probably could have it to where we could have a number here, and then I can have another thing over top, and then just like each day, it will pull, you know, like what? Because I could keep the same model, and then I can have it just be like it's selecting that day. You know, like maybe like an outline around the day number, which is an idea. I don't like how invasive this is. I feel like it needs to be big. Now we're gonna save what we've done so far, because this is lagging pretty hard. If it crashes, I wanna not waste time. I don't know. Like, I feel like this should be shorter, but then we lose like the perfect ratios that we have. Like the calendar month day shrink pretty drastically. I could do maybe since it's 12, I can do 3 rows of 4. Maybe that would be a better option. Although that still wouldn't be good because it would be pretty much like taking off these 2. Right, so we would have a square like this, which would center a little better, but then it would knock down. It would make the day a little weird. I don't, you know, let's try it. Whatever, right? To do this, I would just have to kind of copy this, paste it there, and I'll actually delete that stuff out. Okay, save that. Now we need to go down to here. It would be... So it would be like that instead. Which we could center it. But see, it does come up a little more, because then, right, this has to go up a couple. What I can do is... I could do a 14.99. take this and then just bump this up to here. So it would be like that, and then I could take this. So it would be similar to that. Which means that this would have to go over one more. So to make that easier, so I'm not unrotating things, we're going to create a new cube. I'm going to call this _temp. We're going to get rid of the actual cube. This is going to be solely for moving this whole thing. So I can bump it to here. And now I can keep it rotated and we can push it to the side. I could do a 0.5, which does solve the overlap issue that we had. Be right back. Got to salt the driveway. All right. Yeah, that's not too bad. Which means that this would have to go over probably 0.5 in that direction, right? Because that centers that. And then we have the picture here. Is it going to be a problem, though, with that overlap? Or could I do the caps a little differently? Like, there's nothing that says the caps need to be big, or that big. I still have to do voxels. I can't do half voxel. Oh shit, I can. That was Minecraft. I could do a half voxel. So I could do like a 2.5. 2.5. And then we can position this by a, I think a 2.5. And then position this by a 2.5. There we go. So we'll have significantly smaller caps. Oh yeah, I need to do a 2.5 on this end and a 2.5 on that one. Which means that I also have to shift this by a 2.5 and this top by a 2.5. Okay, that looks a little better, I think. That way the cap's not as aggressive. It's no longer like eating into the image that we would have here. The canvas we need to decrease by 2, I think. So this is actually a very doable thing now. I feel like this isn't centered correctly. Maybe it's just the angle I'm looking at it from. Doesn't seem like it's centered correctly. I mean, so that could be our calendar, right? So we could have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now the question is, how do I do the pictures? I could do a multi-layered thing, right? Like I could have it to where you have your spring, summer, winter, fall. And that could be like the main background image, right? So we could have like snow for winter, right? The winter season. And then maybe I can have another thing on top of it, or maybe, you know, at the top, and that could be like the month, right? So you would see the day, you would see like April, May, June, whatever. Maybe. I am liking this idea. Just have to really put it all together. Which means I also probably should start labeling this kind of stuff too. Oh, you know what? There's nothing that says this needs to be the solid 2 either. So if I wanted to, I could probably bump this down to like a 1.5, right? 1.5. right? And then for the end caps here, at that point, it just needs to be a 2. Yeah, because that looks all right. And it looks like, yeah, there's that little bit of gap, right? So it's like anchored here if someone's really looking at it closely. For this whole thing, let's do a 2.5. This is going to be the fractional, shoot, what is it? 12.5? Yeah, that's what it would be to center it now. Not bad, not bad. Okay. I am liking where we're going with this. I am going to start naming some of this stuff. So this could be the thermometer. This could be thermometer, cap, top. And then we would have, of course, the thermometer cap. Actually, this would be the bottom. And then this one is the top. You know, instead of thermometer, I could just do cap. Obviously, it's nested under the thermometer. Obviously, it's going to be the cap for it. This could be the day. I'll do days instead. The canvas, I need to readjust that. There we go. Canvas I still think is fine. But what I want to do is copy, duplicate canvas, and then I can do month. We can bump this out a little bit. 5.1. Nope, it would be 4.9. Just so it sits on top. We can decrease this, right? Something like that. Then let's reposition it for the middle. And then up. So that could have the month in there. And then the picture. So for month, we can do like month, day. While I'm at it, let's... Okay, I know what to do. It's going to require probably a lot of unnecessary duplicating at first. But I could do like current day 1. Right? What we can do is make this voxel size, first of all, it could be just a 0. It needs to bump out just a hair above. And it needs to be a 2x2. And then move the positioning up. Right? So technically this could be day 1. Let's look at the face. File, save as. I'll say current day. Save. Okay. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to just make it yellow for now. The rest of this can go away. Beep, beep, boop. Here, we'll do that. Boop. Now over here, we'll do image, import, current day, apply. There we go. So like it will do like a highlight of it. So I can make the resolution a lot bigger to where you could clearly see like a 1 through 12. And then I can add more to this, right? You know, that's just texturing, but like whatever day it is, you know, I can have it like shift down the line. But that means that I need to take this little box and then do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, position it. And then basically what I would do is for each particular day, I would have it to where it just renders this static texture over that day, and then everything else will be the default transparent. So we're going to have to duplicate. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All of these are going to go into the day, because I want them all to be together. I wish there was a select all. No, that's fine. And then I just need to position these. Boop. That way, if I want to get rid of it, it'll all be together. If I move the calendar again, it'll keep all the formatting for my days. Okay, so for this one, we're going to bring it over 1, 2. Oops. 1, 2. There we go. Day 3. Then day 4. Okay, day 5. Go here. Day 6. Day 7. And then day 8. Day 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Day 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. There we go. So ideally, all of these, it will, you know, I'll be able to pick the day, which is good. For the top middle, let's make a texture for that. That is a, oof, really? Did a 2x7, we're gonna do a 2x8, and then the positioning will, there, we'll do that. That way it's a little more manageable. Let's pull this up. File, new. We'll do a 16 by 16. And this is going to be a 2 by 8. Boop. File, resize. There we go. And what I can do is we'll pop that in, delete, delete. I'll put in just temporary text right now. July. Let's make it smaller. Let's pop a 6. I'll make the resolution much higher. Cancel. Let's do a file. Save as. This would be WS-month. Now the question is, what should the station be made out of? Should it be wood or should it be metal? Because if we do wood, then that brings up the interesting thing where maybe I could have a different kind of wood, like maybe you can accessorize this and pick the wood that you want. Maybe I could make it stone. I can make it metal too. So I'm not sure what the base frame should be made out of. Metal wouldn't make sense just because it would kind of put it late game. And I kind of want to use this early. Like a calendar shouldn't be a big deal. And that's good. All right. Image. Import. Apply. Burp, 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 burp. Burp, burp. So something similar to that, right? July for this. Burp, 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 burp. 11 by 7. So again, click on this, new 16 by 16, okay. This will be 11 by 7. Kind of a weird ratio, but whatevs. Boop, boop, boop. File, resize, let's raise it 800%. Get a little more closer, right? More closer to actually using something decent. 68 by 54. Okay, so what I can do is we'll save this. This will be called WS-canvas. I'm going to take a quick image. You know what I could do? I could look at open this in a new window. Mods. We will do vice blocks, assets, textures, block, painting, memories. Let's do Super Nintendo, my personal fave. And we will see what something like this will actually look like. Kind of like that. All right, so let's open it, copy, create a new layer, bump this to the top, paste it in. Just something quick to test, right? Delete this. Delete this. Oh, cancel. Let's merge this down. Save. Okay, let's import it now. So face, image, import, canvas, click, apply. So it would be similar to this. For the weather station. Actually, I think it looks pretty freaking awesome. And of course, I can set this to where the resolution, right? The resolution's higher. Let's do a quick save-a-rooney. So this would get us effectively working dates. So like, you know, if it was July 7th, it would look like this. There would be numbers on this. You'd have your 7, it would be highlighting it. Which, you know, the highlight should be a little different. See, something like this, an 8x8, or it would be a 2x2, right? File, new. I wonder if I can do something like this. And then I'm going to change this up a little bit so it's more like that. Then we'll do a file, no, we'll do a resize, and I'll make it like 32 by 32. I thought this would be the case, so do that. Delete that. File, save as. Because there's nothing that says I can't, for the current day. Since it's so perfect and small anyways, and then what I can do is now go down to current day. And I can increase the UV of it. There, and that would save the image size, right? Getaku, hey! I would have to propagate this change through to everything else, but... Lunk! I mean, this could be our calendar right here. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Copies textures of this face. So then the next day, paste. So I would have to, I think I have to adjust all this, right? It's just going to be 8x8. All right, let's enable everything again. I think this would be a more efficient way of doing it. 8x8, 8x8, 8 and 8, 8, 8. That's done, that's done. Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Boom. And then of course, right, it would hide everything besides the date, so the 7th would still be like that. But at least it would select it for you. It would have the 7 in there. All right, file, save. Not bad. So we would have a basic working thermometer. We would have the day. Everything would be visual. You could hover over it. I still want to have the box up top that will tell you outside temperature and then, you know, month, day. Not sure about time. I guess I could make a clock if people wanted to. Maybe I could make a cuckoo clock and do some animations. Have it. I could have it play a sound like every in-game hour, or like I can have it like every, you know, like third, right? So noon or midnight, you know, depending, and then like I can have morning clocks, and then like after, you know, morning and then or night and then day. Yeah. If you haven't already made the therm, I would have said move the therm over to a weather monitor. Put the clock on this. I mean, this is just a rough draft. I can make this any way I want because there's nothing that says I can't, you know, have it to where like maybe there's a clock up top, and then, you know, the calendar up top and like maybe the clock at the bottom. Although, I mean, now that I'm talking about the clock, I think it would be awesome to have like those. So, so my wife Freya, her mom brought over this cuckoo clock that she had, and I never knew this, but apparently cuckoo clocks in the past they used dead animals like taxidermy stuff. So she brings this thing over. It's got like deer antlers and like dead rabbits and shit on it. And I'm just looking at it like, what? Like, it's cool that it's a cuckoo clock, but I'm like, what the hell is this? So, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think a cuckoo clock would be just too crazy. Like, I could make just a regular clock and I can have it up. But the problem is, like, how would I do the display? Because the more things that change, the more variants of the item I'm going to have to make. Already, we're going to, like, behind the scenes, and this is something that I wish they Vintage Story did like Minecraft. In Minecraft, you had metadata. So you could have one item register, and then based on how you chopped up the metadata, you could store things like color, variant, like all this stuff. So basically, let's pull up a calculator and see how beefy this thing's going to be. So we have a calendar, right? So the thermometer, if I do only have it 4 segments, we're starting off with 4 variants of, we'll just say it's only oak right now, right? One type of wood you can make it out of for the frame, right? So you have 4, and then you're going to have to multiply it by how many months there are, because each time it's going to have to render a new month, a new image. So that would be 12. And then multiply that by how many days, right? 12. So just the base clock is this. And then you have to say, okay, well, in the background picture, I want it to be spring, summer, winter, fall, right? So times 4. So we're at 2,304 variants, behind the scenes items to make this animated, clock, right? Just this calendar, which that's actually quite a bit. That is quite a bit. Well, remember that everyone was MAD when they made the switch to all the back-end metadata stuff, then eventually came over to it when it became clear and it streamlined things. Well, yeah, but yeah, at the time people were pissed because yeah, there's some things that are going to break, but also you don't have to break things to do it. See, Forge is a very unique thing because they would just gut an existing system and then put in whatever, like for metadata. What they could have done is still kept the old way. Like if they put in metadata, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to mess with how they're doing the variants and everything now. That just means that they're just opening up a pipeline to where, like, if you want to do something like this and spawn 2,304 variants, right? Individual items in the game, you can. Or if you want to hook into a metadata system, you could instead migrate some of those variants over to metadata saved information per block, right? And then you only have, maybe 24 items, but then some of the things like the current day and the current month and the season, and your temperature and everything would be saved as a metadata variable, like an int, you could even have it, inside of the item that you placed. So you're not destroying your registry with this. You know what I mean? For instance, the and I hate that. I hate that it's like that. So now if I want to make this a clock, well, what's going to happen with it, right? Like if I make a digital clock and have it be semi-accurate, that's not really going to work. A clock would have to be a static thing, like maybe it would say like day or night, kind of similar to like how this mod does it, right? Like you could hover over and I can have it say like, oh, it's just this, this time. Like it'll tell you the time because time speeds by pretty quickly in the game. So you would get a lot of refreshes, right? It would be a very intense kind of item to have because it's like every 5 seconds you're increasing a minute in game. But like a display, like hovering over it's not bad. But when you have to start swapping this item out so that the images and everything, right, like it's ticking time, that becomes very, again, becomes a hog, as I hear one outside. Here, we saved this, right? And who knows? This is just a rough draft. I may not even use this. Like, I don't know. I don't know how excited I am about a calendar and a thermometer. Right? I kind of like the idea of like the clock playing sounds. Unless I put in like a fake, like I shift things around, like maybe I shift this over or something, or rearrange all this, and then I have a built-in clock here that maybe I can make it a thicker block to make it look like it's doing more, and that way I could play sounds with this. You would have some visuals, right? Like I could keep the visual for like the day that it is in the month, and then just have it to where when you hover over it, it tells you, like the season, the temperature. I could display it like this, and then December 1st, and then the year. Because that's another thing we're not showing here is the year, although the year I don't think really matters. And then, the clock, like it would look like, a little clock, like it wouldn't really change, but, it would, it'd have like the little clock section. I don't know. It's an idea. I kind of like that idea. Let's reload this. It should update in here. It shouldn't look like that. It's still going to have the big question mark because I don't have the assets added and imported. Oh my god, it's 111 already? My day. Yeah, so see, it would be something like that. Like you could kind of see the variance here. But that would be similar to like the weather station. Although, because I made the thermometer smaller, there's nothing that says, I mean, it sucks for everything that we just did here, but I could duplicate this. That way we have a backup and I'll just hide it. And then for this, we can set it back to, I think, something like this. Yeah, I could set it to something like this. Right? So you would have your days here, and then that would leave this space down here. So maybe I could add a clock. Hey, Bernardo. So I'll bump it up one. Whoops. So, it wouldn't look exactly like this. I'm just trying to position it to see what kind of space we would have to deal with. So this would be the potential length. Let me change the image, the texture for a couple of these things. That way we get a better idea. How's things? Man, they're pretty good. I don't have work today, so I mean that's great. Very happy about that. Oh, but things are pretty good. I've been sitting here like I gotta pee, but I don't know. I don't want to get up. That whole chestnut. So I may end up going to the bathroom fast soon. I think if I just save this, there we go. Right. So then this would be similar to how it would, how it would be. I could bump this up, position, do like a 0.5, right? That way there's a little breathing room between the clock itself. Yeah, yeah, it is pretty awesome. Snow, not even a lot of snow. I did all the snow shoveling first thing in the morning. It was only like maybe 2 or 3 inches. But go take a pee, man. It's not good for you to hold it. I know it's not good. I don't do it that often. But I feel like I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. But I mean, what would I be able to put in here though? That's not really a good place for a clock. I like the spacing of the image here, right? I like the fact that we have July. I like the fact that we have like the time of day. You know what we could do? We could I don't necessarily have to have the month there, just the day. Because if that's the case, yeah, then we would have only 192, which is a easier thing. So I don't know. Should we have the month? Like, what if it was just this, right? You would look at it and you would have like whatever your image is. This is just something I threw in there, right? Like it would have like whatever the season, right? Summer, winter, fall, spring, you know. Not in that order, of course. But you would have the picture, right? And it'd be like, oh, fall, right? The autumn leaves and pumpkin or whatever. And then the day itself would be here, right? But then how would you know? Because with each month, right? I think it breaks it up pretty evenly. Although time set day. Yeah, see, it's still considered fall, so it's not. It doesn't break it up easily. All right, I don't know. Um, let me take a break. And if anyone has any suggestions too, because like so far this is like should I shift all of this stuff down so the calendar's there and then we can move this because this bar is the maximum space that we have for a clock. I don't know how we can do a clock. Like, I mean, we could do like a digital, but it's going to look weird having a static digital time for the clock. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's gonna be weird. The thermometer, we could make it smaller, but that doesn't really help. That would just give us more length, right? Not really helpful. I don't know. Why static though? It's because I explained it before. I'll do it again here. That's why I have the calculator up. So in order to shift things around in a block, basically you have to create another version of that blocker item. So if this right here, right, this brown, like let's say I want to make that every piece of wood there is. There's more than 10, but you're already starting off with 10 items just to be able to change it to the wood style that you want. I think it's really like 12 or 13, but we'll just do 10 for the sake of numbers. And then it's like, okay, well, if I want to change have the day, or we'll do the thermometer next, right? If I keep it just these four, right, and not even get intricate with it, to where like, maybe spring like above whatever Celsius, it is, bam, like the red will be all the way up. Like the middle could be 0, and then we could get in the negative since, fall it does get in the negative for Celsius. That's going to be another 4 because you have to mix and match, right? It's a cumulative. So you would have to multiply it by 4. So just having those two things, changing your frame and then having it to where the thermometer works only in 4 segments, that's 40 items that we have to do already. Now, let's say for the background picture, I want spring, summer, winter, fall. Just a general picture for the season. That way you look at it and it's like, oh, yeah, pumpkins, fall, leaves, whatever. Well, multiply that by another 4. So we're at 160 items that have to register in the game for one calendar. Now, the days, right? So it's like there are 12 days in each month. So if I want to do this part here where it's like, oh, like it highlights the day that you're on. So this would be 7, right? Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be the 5th of whatever because we're not displaying the month right now. Multiply that by 12. So we're at 1,920 variants. So 1,920 items, blocks, have to register to do this. And then it's like, okay, well, I also want, right? If we're like, you know what, having the day without the month is stupid, right? So if I wanted to say July or whatever the month is, well, times 12. So we're at 23,040 items that have to register. Now if we think about, oh, well, that's great and that covers all of our bases, but we really want to clock on this as well and we want the numbers to change. Well, that would be, you could have 0 to 9, right? Or 0 to, technically, the first digit you would have 0 to 9, so that would be 10. So times 10 for the one, times 10 for the other, and then times 10. Yep, because it would be, yep, that would be the hour. And then times only 2, right? Because it would, or 3, because it'd be either a 0 or a 1. No, so times 2. So times 2. So if we want to have a digital clock that displays the hour and the minute, then we're looking at over 4 million blocks that have to register to the game to have those kind of variants. Now, if they had metadata like Minecraft, then you don't have to do this because I'd be able to store things like the time, the temperature, the day, all that data inside of here. So I could say, hey, block, do a search based on, whatever it is. And if it turns out to be this, use this texture. Not registering another block, so yeah, to put in a clock, over 4 million blocks. Can't you make them as slots that hold the number as items or something, like frames that auto switch or whatever like that? Well, that's how, like, for instance, something like this, right? My windows. Even though this is one window that opens and closes, really, and see, the thing is, I don't know the limitations on Vintage Story. Vintage Story may be okay with having, a bunch of variants. Like there are a lot of items in the game, and there are a lot of items that you don't see in the game. So it may have a better time. I just feel like if I could cut bloat, I should before. So like for that window, right? So it's one window, but it has 2 states, open or closed. So already we're starting with 2. And then the window is orientable. Oh, that's another thing. We didn't multiply the calendar by 4 because there are 4 faces, right? North, south, east, and west. So it would be way over that. So we start off with the 2. It is facing, right? So you have north, south, east, west. So that's 4. You have all the variants of, we'll say wood again. I'm going to round down to 10. Oh, wait, no. 4, 8. So, no, I messed that up. Hold on. So 2 times 4 times 10. Yeah, there we go. 80. And then you have the snow, right? So you either have it snow or no snow. So multiply that by the two states. And then you have, I think that's it actually for the windows. Yep. Oh, actually you have, no, because the windows with the snow. Have the tools on the floor building works. That puts a little block to make the full tool. Oh, you mean napping? Yeah, that's separated in different pixels, different blocks. But you can't really. It's a different mechanic. You're talking about the chisel mechanic, which actually takes up a lot because you're storing data inside the block, but it's not really metadata. You know, like the way everyone, even the way their stuff in the vintage story mods, like basically to make an item, you know, let's pull up the window, right? So you'll have your variant groups. So I'm taking every piece of wood, right? Because I want you to be able to have multiple, you know, make the windows out of whatever materials you want. So any kind of wood. I have the open and close state, so you can, you know, change it, open and close it. And then you can position it, right, you know, north, south, east, west, so you can rotate it to where a window's facing out instead of always facing forward like normal blocks. And then for the sake of the snow, right, I wanted snow on the windowsill and I wanted your windows to fog. So you have this. So all of this is how Vintage Story does it, but technically it's multiplying, you know, this number by this number by this number by this number, and then you call everything down in creative. Like if I come in here in general, or we'll do in Vice blocks. If I just say, give me every item in the game, right, for this window, I'll show you how many items it actually makes. Yeah, yeah. I know you're trying to think of different options. I thought of it too, but the whole napping system, it's just a different beast. You know, like it's taking the item, like it's obviously every voxel is its own thing, right? Every voxel you can interact with on the grid, and then it's just laying a texture over top of it, right? And on the sides. So it's well, it doesn't last long. The idea is as you're napping, you eventually finish it and then it goes away. You know, this is something that's just going to hang on the wall. So we have all of these windows here. This is just the window. This is the closed. Right? We can come up here. You know, this is the there we go. This is the open with the snow. Yeah, right. Add metadata. You don't even have to gut the current system. Just add metadata. And I would love you long time. But nope. So we'll hide all that stuff. Yeah. So I have to come up with a creative way to make this work. Um, what would the clock look like? Do we even need a day here? Because if I'm and that's the thing, right? We gotta be, I guess, resource fiscally responsible, you know, for like other people using this mod, right? So if the goal is you hover over the block and I tell you that it's fall, I give you the outside temperature and I give you the day and I give you the time by hovering over it, what visually needs to happen? You know, like should this just be a static block that, you know, things don't really change on it? Like it's just a flat image, right? Or a flat thing, you know, kind of like a painting. And then you hover over it and you get all the data you want. Because ideally, either way, you got to look at it. You know, like does the picture really have to change? Like I could do the 4 pictures, but do we need the month? You know, do we need the day? You know, what would something like this look like? That would give us more room for a potential clock. You know, but what does this clock look like? You know, like Does it need to really move, or could I make it a square and make it look like one of those little, like just, non-digital clocks, right? One of the analog clocks. Is it going to be annoying for people that the clock's always in the same position? Should I put like gears down here, right? Like do some kind of animated gear. That way it looks kind of steampunky or something, and then this could be a display, right? And then the display could have like whatever the season is, or I mean, it could be like that. But really, like what data can I pull back because I'm already giving it to people? Like it's going to be redundant, you know? It's kind of like the rust stones. This the temporal infuser for the mod. When I hover over it, it says off. Like I don't have to do anything special here. Status off. If I put, see, now it's idle. And let's get one of the beefy ones here. Right? See idle, ... And each time I'm doing like one of the little dots, right? Like it's all just an illusion. So what data do you really need to see? Like right now it's charging progress. Like all the data's there. Imagine it's gonna say calendar and it's gonna say, December 2nd, 1389, which is apparently what we're doing now. And then underneath it, it could say like season fall. And then underneath that, it'll say, temperature negative 6.8 degrees Celsius. So you can look at it, right? And it tells you all that information at the top. So what information can I leave off to where it still looks good that you'll want it in your house and you want to use it without, being overly redundant? Like, should you be able to just look in here and be like, ideally you would want to look and be like, get some information. Like if you see the picture of fall or the picture of snow, you'll know, like if I'm logging in like the basement, I haven't played in a couple days, I can look at the calendar and be like, yep, it's winter. I logged out when fall was just about to hit and it's been a few days. Like what information do we need? I guess is my thing. Because I can come over here, we can do image. I'll give it this image. There, just for the sake, right? So that's our problem. How do we do this? Like what would go here? I kind of like the idea of like gears. Kind of stick with the whole rust theme a little bit. But then again, like a thermometer like this, like where'd we get the mercury, right? It's not like we're exactly mining it out. So then does this thermometer just go away? And do I extend this over to where it's just a bigger image and then another image at the bottom, right? Maybe another gear, so maybe like 3 gears that just kind of slowly rotate, and then a big image, and then, that's the rub. Because then I could do something like this. I don't know why I have all these little tidbits. I could just delete this, pop into this, extend this. This is the canvas. It'd give us a bigger image. Can't you make it as an entity instead of a regular block? I can make it, it's already a block entity. Making it an entity gets kind of weird. There's a lot more processing per tick that has to happen, having it be an entity as opposed to a block entity. Like my machines are entities, you know. Those you don't want a lot in the server. So it would have to stay like as a block entity. And it's a lot easier dealing with a block entity than a real entity, because then a real entity has health, you know. Like a machine that you could use things like the health hunger bars mechanic to do that. Well, the health and hunger stuff, you're it's not going to be as efficient. I would be using the wrong tool for the job. Instead of using a hammer, I would be using like a shovel to nail down a nail, which is big and metal and could get the job done with the skill, but it's not, if you already have a hammer, it cuts a lot of the problems. It's a good idea though, Bernardo. It definitely is a good idea. God, my cat is so fat. He just tried to jump on the couch, like up on the rest, and he got like halfway up, and I heard him go, "Whir," and I see him. He's like clawed onto it, and he's like trying to shimmy his way up because he's too fat. Well, see, the hammer is available. It's a block entity is what I got to focus on, right? Block entity. The difference though, Bernardo, it's about how the data is represented. Because this block is going to be doing checks, right? And so it knows what time it is. So how does it reflect those checks in the change of texture? Because remember, everything's kind of static. Like this hammer that I have in my hand, it's the same texture, right? For the item that it has. Like all this stuff here, the textures don't change. I would be changing the textures, you know? Like animations, that's not really going to be, anything crazy, right? But, when I start changing the texture, I have to have, some kind of mapping to it. And the best way to do it is, just like down here, right? So textures by type. You have all your textures point depending on what it is, right? Free and snow, there's a couple differences. Crops. Well, crops are an interesting thing too. So here, let me hop into. We'll pull it up. We'll take a look at it. Boop. So let's go under survival. It would be a block type. I hope it's just called crop. There we go. So we will pick the onion, and we'll pull up the calculator. So the way they do it here, you have your base onion. So it looks like the code type onion. So they only have one and this is just for the onion, but there are 7 stages. So even though it's one onion, there are actually 7 blocks that are registered for this one onion. And really all it's doing is just changing, right? Because there are 7 looks of the onion depending on the stage it's in. So it's the same idea as to how they're doing it. And then see, they're coming in and they're doing the fancy stuff that I'm already doing. So, right, if it's like, the texture, right, S and E, I don't know what it's mapped to, but, it's pulling up a variety of different textures based on that information. And really all it's doing is just swapping out, right, as it's growing, it's changing the block to whatever the new one is. Which is not, like, for something like this, it's not really a big deal, but it kind of becomes one. Something like this, right? The soybean, that's 11 items for the soybean. I wonder if there's anything here. Oh, geez. Bell pepper. Oh, look at that. Wow, the bell pepper is kind of crazy. For the bell pepper, there are 19 blocks for it. That's kind of crazy. What about flax? Yeah, so 9 for flax. But yeah, that's you get the idea. Pineapple. What's the point of having a variant group here for a type pineapple? Oh, I guess okay, I guess because the code is crop. So, okay. So it would be crop dash pineapple dash 5. And that would pull up that particular block with everything that it's supposed to do. If it's, if butterflies can feed on it, whatever it is for its current state, and then it pulls that image over to it. Probably the shape and the image. Nope, same shape, so just a different image. So the name of the game is restricting our budget. We are restricting our budget for this. So I can pull this up. I think I copy this. I mean, I could. It's going to be hard to do a good representation here. Minimize that. Yeah, so, we would have like whatever the image is. Honestly, this may have to be the way we go. Like a 2.5 in the middle. But then what would you make out of it, right? If I have like moving gears, does this potentially need a few rusty gears in it? Because I want it all to make sense. I don't want Minecraft logic where, you know, I take stick and piece of charcoal and put together and I get torch that ever stays lit, like automatically. Like if there are gears, I want gears to be something that you make, but gears, stone, like maybe I'd have to get some crushed quartz or, like some, maybe a little something more, right? I don't know. It's interesting. I like that we're talking about it. Yeah, I know you want that. I don't. Like with the game here, because I'm doing the best I can. Because vintage story, it's different than Minecraft. I can get away with that stuff from Minecraft, but I could also, if I can be clever enough, I can tie all this stuff into like the whole theme of the vintage story, which is the Rust world, right? The Rust monsters, the Rust world, you know, that kind of mysterious, rifts and stuff. It's not exactly magic, but so what I'm going to do here is we are going to I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to get another soda because this one warmed up. I'm going to hit the bathroom, come back, and then while we ponder this part, I could at least be doing the programmatic part where we can actually in the display have the date, the month, the fall, right, the temperature outside. That way, when we look at our block, it'll give us all the information. And then maybe by then, we'll have an idea of what we want the block to actually look like. Something that people are going to want in their home because, maybe I get rid of this whole square thing. Maybe I make it a smaller block and it looks like a thermostat. Like the who knows, right? I would like to have like a visual. My only thing with this is I would like to have a visual representation of the season because there are times when like you sign in, right? I'd like to have something on the wall and I'd like it to be, I would just like a cool image of the season. And Vintage Story has their icon. Um, let me pull it up here. Images, Vintage Story. Because it's like that tree, right? So like that's the Vintage Story icon. I think it would be cool to have like that in different seasons. you know, as their for their like, you know, for the picture on. So you have this neat little picture, and depending on, you know, if the trees fall, winter, you know, like it would just look different. I think that's the direction that I would like to keep with it. You know, that's like the minimum requirement. You know, so I don't know. But then again, I mean, if a little thermostat thing that you just put on the wall works, you know, a little square box, nothing crazy, maybe a couple gears that kind of rotate inside. I guess I'm cool with that. I just don't want it to be an invasive, like big block that you put down. I want it to be something that you put on the wall, right? Something that's like away from everything. You can slap it on a wall. It looks good. You look at it and you can see, like, hey, that's a calendar, right? It's going to tell me what I need to know. Although a calendar that tells you the temperature is a little weird. So maybe I make a calendar block and then I make a thermostat separate. I don't know. But okay, I'll be right back. Back. Oh man. So I grabbed some Oreos. You know, the funny thing is I bought these Oreos because I remember how they used to taste. And I actually hate the insides. I just like the you know, cookie part. But like Oreos now are like the thinnest little bit. Like you can't even like it used to the insides used to be just so much more significant, and these don't taste as good. They changed the recipe. Very, very mediocre. It's missing something. You know, it's just a weird taste. I don't know. Nah. Right, got to get double stuff. I mean, this is just. I mean, these are thinner than I've ever seen them. Like I know about double stuff, but I just feel like I'm being gypped in my cookie. That's all. Because I used to not get double stuffed, and it used to be just fine. Because you used to be able to like peel it off, and it was like the little, like little flappy part, right? Now it's like the consistency's different. It's like a paste that they just put in instead of like a pre-cut little circle that they mush together. I don't know. It's depressing. You should feel bad, Oreos. Nabisco, jerks. Probably be another 3 to 5 years before I buy Oreos again. All right. I haven't decided on anything with this yet, so we'll just minimize it. And I definitely like the suggestions. I appreciate it. Or at least be able to, try and talk and reason out, the best way to do this. All right, so we are going to close pretty much all the tabs here. This we are going to get rid of. And we are going to have to make we're going to have to make something for the calendar. And I'm thinking about calendar. Should it just be called like isn't it called a weather station? Because it's like, I'm thinking of what my inspiration. It may not be calendar, maybe, like just something digital that you put on the wall, right? Because like we have the weather station here, and I could see the time, I could see the date, I could see the temperature outside, I could see when it thinks it's going to rain and snow, I could see the indoor and outdoor temperature. That was really my inspiration for it. Calendar may be the wrong word for it. Weather station, I feel like, is the wrong word as well. I don't know. I don't know. So, what is this going to be? This block is pretty much like a painting. So, I think we probably should copy the painting of memories information here, class files. For now, I'm going to call it calendar. Boop. At least until I come up with a better name for it. I could always rename it. So paste, paste, and paste. Let's just go down that help file. Oh, so all this help stuff, I'm going to comment everything out except for the block material. And I'm going to leave all this other stuff in for now. It's going to have incorrect information that it's going to tell us, but we can always trim it back. All right, and this one is going to be, and we also need the block entity. Calendar. I'm hungry, and these Oreos are here. This was not thought out. Because I know I'm gonna have more, and I am not enjoying them, and I shouldn't be eating things that I don't enjoy just because they're there and I'm hungry. It's not a good look. Okay, so we have these two class files. We have one for the block itself, one for the block entity. What we're gonna have to do is come down to here. We have to register these items. That way we can use them. Boop and boop and boop and boop. All right, now that they're registered, we can come back to the top I will copy the painting of memories. I need these two sections. Let's put this in the calendar. Oh, I had them commented out already. Sweet. Now I need to do block calendar VB, block entity, calendar VB. There we go. So we connected all the dots already. So now that code for the block and the block entity are going to be passed through. Like we can modify these things a little more now. I don't think there's anything here that we're going to need. What I should do is we're going to come to the top. We're going to go to rust stones because I've already did a majority of the legwork in my other mod. So let's go to source. Let's go to common. We'll start with block. And the temporal infuser is what we want to look at. So this has to do with particles. I'm not going to have any particles at all. We don't need to worry about particles at all. Should receive particle tick. Who cares? Who cares? Spawn par would be the particles itself spawning. On block, interact, start. So really, there's nothing at all important that we need in just the block, which means that this stuff here, yep, all of this we can delete. Don't need it. There's no fancy interaction you get with this. When you hover over is where all the information comes from. That's it. Easy, easy, easy. This get drops. We will leave this. I'm going to comment it out for now, but we will leave this just in case. Because this becomes, actually we will need this now that I'm thinking about it. Because if I want spring, summer, winter, fall, if you break the item, I want it to default to whatever the same item is that I pass through creative. That way you're not getting, you break your calendar in autumn and now it doesn't stack with the one from spring because they're technically two different items. Hey, Speedy, how's it going? Speedy. So we're going to uncomment that. If anything, I will put in the correct item format here so it doesn't crash on us. I need to go down to here. My God, both of these cats. I tell you, I'm not much of an animal person. The animals and I have an understanding. We have an understanding. What am I looking for? Calendar. That's all I wanted to pull up. So we have two things. We have the season and we have the side, the orientation. The orientation's always going to be north. So it's always going to be a dash north. For the season, I always want it to be spring. So really, our code is going to look like this. I can get rid of that. So it's going to be vice blocks colon for the domain, right? And then the first code part, it's just going to pull the calendar, the name calendar from the code. And then for the second code part, we're putting in the static spring. For the third code part, we're putting in static north. Hey, good. Was getting an update error on one of your mods when I was connecting to your server. Oh, you know what? Probably. Let me fix that fast. Thanks for bringing that up, Speedy. So what had happened was I added my the mod I'm working on now, Vice Blocks. I had an update that I pushed out. Turns out things were more broken than I thought. So I just took it back down. So let me go to mods. Yep, that's it right there. Delete. All right, I got to restart the server and then that should be fixed. G portal. servers. Restart. Okay, that's restarting. Great, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for bringing it up. Because I would be able to connect to it, but I had downloaded the mod before I took it off, so it'd be in my cache. Okay, so where are we? Calendar, this is good to go. Block material, I think the outer base, I would like it to be wood and not stone. I want just wood versions of it. So we're going to have the material be wood. All right, so I could close that out. That's not needed. This, because we already registered, that's not needed. We're going to keep this up as a reference. Now let's get into the block entity, which means that the temporal infuser block entity is what we want to look at next. So item slot renderer, infusion, inventory sound, initialize. I am looking to see, I'll know it when I see it. There's a particular thing in here that has to do with the mouse over tooltip. On player right click, we don't need anything with that. We don't need anything with the dialogue. On block broken, packet received is a big no. Server packet received is also going to be a whopping no. Okay, so it's nothing from there. The infusion process, no. This is all about this is counting the ticks, applying ticks. It's nothing here. This is it, get block info. Copy this. I think this is the only thing that we need. Yep. And then it syncs to client. This is exactly what we need. So, oh my goodness, look at all this stuff. We're going to delete some of this out, right? I don't need this. I don't need the positioning, although no, I don't need the positioning. And I don't need that. So let's delete all that. On player right click, I don't think we need anything there either. So comment that out. Boop. I suppose I could just comment all of this out. Because technically all this stuff is going to be, it all kind of works together. Okay, now let's import what we need here. So system.text is what we're going to have to use there. Can start infusing. So we're going to have to import the API config for the game. We are going to have to change the reference here. So it would be VB references. And I can copy this out. What does this want back? Oh, it's void, so it doesn't have to have anything back. All right. All right, I'm going to copy this. This is all I need, so I'm going to actually cut it. All of this can go away. Boop, boop. Which means that this would be VB references. This would be the time. So let's now let's start thinking about how we want things to be organized. Probably the first thing would be the date. So I got to find a way to call in-game time, date and time. Copy this. I'm going to paste this. There we go. Get rid of that. Okay, we're going to do just a simple test. I'm not going to actually do anything for localization. I'll do date. And then we will pop this bad boy into here. And I'm just going to put a static 12 in. I'm going to make sure that I have indeed connected all the dots correctly before we go down the rabbit hole. So hovering over this, it should say the name of the block up top, and then it should say right underneath it, date, colon, and then just the number 12. If that's the case, then we can start looking at, it's most likely going to be this.api.world, and then I can start looking for anything that has to do with calendar, time, things like that. Because that's all going to be stored in, or world data is what we're going to have to look at. Probably world data. Probably. Hope everyone's doing well. And look at all those nulls. It's so mad at the shape that I made. It's foaming at the mouth. All right, make sure. Yep. Because remember, this is the old one. This is the new. So date 12. Let me just get rid of those old. Yep. So that was easy, right? Now let's try and pull some information, right? So this dot. Okay, there's nothing there. So it would have to be API dot world dot. It's not time. Calendar dot month name, day of year, days per month, get season. Okay, so returns a season at the given position. Excuse me. So we'll do that. Let's do dot. Month name, I think, is what we want. So date is going to be month name plus. I will put in a slash plus. Then we're going to copy this. Current day of the year goes from 0 to days per year. Nope. Days per month. I just want the day. Total days. Lapsed days. Amount of in-game days that have passed since. No, I want the probably days per month, right? You know, we'll try day of the year because I'm not sure what this information is going to really look like. All right, and then I could do this dot, or I could just paste it in. And then I can get the year. Every game begins with 1386. That's good to know. For this, I can put season. Let's see, get season. Oh, I got to get the block position, right? So I can do for player dot world data. No, this is not it. Or why don't I just do a this dot position? There we go. So I can get the season from where the block is. If I were to do something like outdoor temperature, that may be a little too long, but we'll see. World dot. See, I think with this one may actually be world data. Collectible, claims, calendar, no. Block accessor. Huh, you can get sea level. It's interesting. You can get online players too. Get nearest entity, no. I think we're in the wrong place for this. That's spawning the entity, that's the sun. Okay, so what if I do for player dot world data dot, no, I don't think it would be world data? Entity player dot, maybe it's not entity player. Where would this information be? I want temperature. How do I look at temperature? Technically, temperature is saved on the player from, I think it's like one of the behaviors for the player. But how do you detect whether the world is cold or not? You would think it'd be world data, but I think world data is more like a saved thing. I think that we would have to do it through this dot API dot, then world would make the most sense, right? Because we are indeed trying to find something with world. World. Event? API component to register trigger events. No, that's not it. I think it is world. API dot. So I could just have it loop back into world. Yeah, that's not it. What if I do blocks dot? No, that wouldn't be it. We're close. We're close. I could try to look up. See, that's getting the blocks. That's getting an item, getting players around, getting a type. Nearest player, who cares? Sounds. Registering things. Sea level, side, doesn't matter. Yeah, so I don't think it's that. I'm going to comment this out for now. Beep, beep. And I'm going to put just a white space in between those two. We're going to fireball it in. So, season's working. Season is spring. Looks like the date is not working. April. So the slash isn't really what we want there. I guess I want a space. And then look at that. 361532. What the fuck is that number? It's funny getting ads for the place I work. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's funny, like, getting stuff like that, and I'm like, you don't know me. Oh, man, calendar dot. Total days. No, I think that's just going to be like a running total. Pretty date. What are you? The world's current date nicely formatted. What? two lower, pad left, pad right. Pretty date, huh? Well, let's see. See where you at. So, oh, that's what it does, and it gives the time too. So 1 April 1532 would be this, which means that I could get rid of this whole part. We could just do pretty date. That would be the date and time right there. I wish I could subdivide this out. Let me look to see what pretty date does. Of course. All right, let's look up .NET Spy. I want to search for a term called pretty date. And there it is, iGame calendar. Oh, here it is, game calendar. All right, pretty date, what do you do here? Float hour of day. This hour of day, okay. Int hour, so I get the hours, I get the minutes. Date format, I create a new object. This, day of month. Why did I not see day of month over here? I always like I hate how the game does the day, the month, and then the year. And it could be perfectly fine for people who like that. I always prefer, like April 1st year, right? Month, day, year is the pretty format that I prefer. So I'm going to try to make that happen. So day of year, the current day of the year goes from 0 to days per year. What the fuck is this? F. One's a float, one's an int. Okay. This hour of day. Okay, so it does have that. I could pull that out. Day of month is what I need to look at. Day of month. Day of month does not exist. Damn it. It's hidden, isn't it? Let's look at it. No, it's a public int. Day of month. And how do they get day of month? They get this total days, mundus, double this days per month plus 1. I could recreate that math pretty easily. I don't know, man. Maybe there's another kind of current day. Because also, I wanted to split out the time, too. I want it to be like the month, fall, and then time. I don't want it to be like, oh, all this stuff all together. Maybe it's just me. Data format object. Because, like, this, like, language get month dash, this month name, toString, array empty object. This dot year, toString, and then it looks like we have 4 digits. Hour, toString, 2 digits, minute, dot. Copying this whole thing is not going to get us what we want. Unless I do a game calendar. Pretty date. See, I don't have any choices with time here. So you know what? That calendar may not be what I'm looking for. Wonder if there's something else here. Time lapse in milliseconds. Frame profiler would be a big no. Grid recipes. Neat. I prefer month, day, year. Yeah. Devs aren't in US. Yeah, I'm getting that. Yeah, it gives you information you typically want first. Yeah, so I think it's going to take a little more. The lazy way would be like, oh, I could just have it all on one line. But if I'm going to make this item, I want it to be in the format that I want it to be in, right? Not that big of a deal. So let's go back to it then. This API world, let's go back into calendar, right? And then let's pop up the month because we got that right. Month name, it's perfect. Plus, we're gonna pop in a space plus, and now we may have to do some math. Damn math. If you told young me that I would love math like when I'm an adult, I probably would have thought you were crazy because I hated math in school. Well, I hated the teacher. It was one of those things where it's like you get the right answer and then you have to show your work, right? And it's like, well, you're not supposed to be doing it that way yet. You have to, that you learned that a couple years. It's like it's an easier way to do it. Why would I do this way? I'm getting the right answer, but you get marked wrong or half credit anyways. Grinds my gears. Like there are some people where it's like math is supposed to be like a fun extension, right? Theory craft but that's not always the case. Okay, this year, so pretty date. What is this year? What information do I have available to me? I need to do a couple of things here, right? The next thing I need is the day. And day of the month, what does it do? It returns, so this whole thing is cast as an int. Because total days are most likely, okay, we're going to move this over. I'm going to get rid of that, come back in here. I'm going to paste this in, right? So I need to look for something that has to do with total days. Oh my God, we have access to it. Days per month. Get the fuck out of here. Really? we can do this? All right. So that should give us our accurate day. Let's do a plus. Oh man, that feels cheap, but I will take the GD win. All right, and now the year, right? So it should be as simple as year. I hope. All right, let's see. April 1st, and then the years. It's a little rough. It's a little rough. For instance, I need to put the comma here. And I noticed that I don't like how the formatting is for it. April 01 should just be April 1. I knew a couple people who would have like that 01 or 09, and it's like just put a flippin' 9, like we all know. Delicious. But the awesome part is we could come back into here because we know they're doing it right here. So now I just got to look at day of the month and find out for the date format, right? Because it's most likely just a formatting thing. Is there anything else here? Oh, it's just these two, so it's got to be somewhere in here. So what makes it pretty? Language get, date format. Language get, so there's a key in the language file called date format. Let's find it. Boop, minimize. We're gonna reverse engineer the shit out of this just to get the time and date what I would prefer. This is called stubborn. Date, time, birth date equals that. Var time year equals AR. Var month, var day. I see. I see, Speedy. It's not in survival. It's under game, language, EN. There we go. All right, find it. There it is. Date format. Oh. So that's where that period comes from. And then time is for so. Interesting. Very interesting how day of month. I wonder if there's something I can do with. I wonder if I should separate this out a little more. Because I have all this information coming into here, really I probably should do something like this. Right? Something like that. And then I could have this, and instead of the plus, we can put a comma. Instead of that space, I can get rid of it. So we would put the comma there, get rid of that. And then over here, I can pop this comma in here. I can get rid of all of that. There we go. So that would probably be a much better way to do this formatting. And there it is. It was a formatting issue. So date, April 1st. / time set day. Skip ahead a day, April 2nd. There we go. Calendar, the date is working. Season is still indeed spring. Now the question is, do I want season to be first? Should it be season spring, date April 2nd? Or should it be the date April 2nd and then season spring? I'll let that chill a little bit while I format this the way I want it to be. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. One single line. Now let's deal with the time next, right? Because that's going to be something we want. Boop, boop. Put the space here. The space I'm not going to have there. I'm going to put in time. And let's go back to here. Tell me your secrets. How do you do the time? There's a lot of bullshit in this. A lot of jelly in this donut. Oh man, so I was last night. I'm sitting there, right? I'm just coding, right? Nothing special. I found one of the streamers that I like. He was playing Eco, and I guess I like him. I follow him, but I haven't watched him too often. And a funny thing is, like, I think I was looking for games and I had clicked on Eco because I noticed that there were a lot of people watching Eco. And apparently there's like an RP server that him and other big streamers are doing, and they're all going into like characters, right? That they're gonna be doing like an Eco like RP thing. And I thought that was the coolest thing. Yeah, the late shift. You know it, Speedy. I was sitting there, and I'm like, this is pretty entertaining. It's so I'm definitely looking forward to like kind of seeing how it all unfolds. But it got me wanting to do something like that. I'm like, I'd like to do that. RP is some crazy, ridiculous dude. A very specific job. See, and this is why I can't be trusted. Look at this Oreo. It's the piece of it's already missing. And look at with that big piece missing, there's nothing in there. I should complain. You know what? I'm not going to eat that Oreo just because. Not yet, anyways. Oh. Oh. It's not that good. It's not that good. That's what I was talking about last week. Oh, yeah. That's why it seemed kind of familiar. Speedy, I had just stumbled upon it. I'm like, what's this all about? And I'm like, kind of like this. I got to start listening to you more, Speedy. We may be very, very similar with what we like. Oh, man. All right, so basically, what I can do here is something like this. Whoops. Right? Then paste this in like this. That way the time format is correct. There it is. We got a working clock. Question is it going to be an army time? do I want army time? A lot of the guys streaming during DGen hours. There are quite a few that stream during the day, prime time. Looks like more people this year. Yeah, I guess some people were like reprising some of their old roles. The guy that I was watching was Tangent. I like him. Like and the funny thing is, like, I like him for the wrong reasons. His voice, like, I hate Seth Rogen. I think that guy's voice is annoying just because I hate him. And he was like Jimmy Grimes, or yeah, Grimes, right? It's the trash guy, yeah. he did an awesome job, and the fact that it was like based off of Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I love that freaking show. Carl is freaking ridiculous. I'm like, it was just too funny. Oh man. I think the season should go first and then the date. What do you think? Season first and then the date? Something like that. Fireball it in. There we go. Season spring, date April 2nd, 1532, time 12:55. I think it's going to be an army time. So there probably isn't a need for an AM or PM. 213. Yep. Okay. Should I have it army time or should I put in the extra legwork to convert it to just, the 12-hour? I don't know. Apache! Riesling, hey! Got a couple more popping in. How's it going? We are working on a calendar. Ignore the model because I have no idea what I want the model to be like. I know I want in the picture part, I want one of the seasons. But yeah. That's as far as we got. That's why we broke off to actually have it to where when you hover over it tells you information. Should I put weather in there too? Season, spring, date, time, weather. Temperature? Temperature. How did I not have temperature in here? Gnarly. Fist of the Walrus, gassy Mexican, funny guys. Yeah, there was the one guy who was doing like they were doing like Rick and Morty. Oh my god, I was cracking up. And then of course they got super serious, right? There's always that thing where you love a character and then it's like, oh, I would be careful doing that because of, blah blah blah, some kind of domestic violence or something the actor did or something like that. And I'm like, come on, why you gotta ruin it? Can I just like the voice of Rick and Morty and just detach it from the person? Like, cause really, it seems like the only person that you can like rely on is who's the guy from Mr. Rogers, right? He's the only one where they didn't have some documentary or something come out where it's like some whole double life. Like even Bill Cosby, right? Like, I remember when I lived in my youth, I didn't live with my mother. I lived with my grandma and papa, and they were older, right? They used to watch like Columbo and stuff like that. So the Cosby Show would come on, and we'd sit there and watch it. The dude's selling pudding pops and crap, and then you find out like you get older, and it's like he was taking advantage of women. I remember when the court stuff happened, right? Like, and it's like disbelief. It's like, nah, he couldn't have done that. And then like what, 7, 8 cases in, then it's like, I don't know. Maybe he did it, but did he do it to all of them? you know, it's just like the most ridiculous thing. I don't know. I know that was a little bit of a tangent, but it was one of those things where I thought it was hilarious, and then the guy chimes in and is like, "Oh well, you shouldn't do that." It's like, oh my god. Uh, Temperature. All right, we're gonna get the temperature. It's gonna be in degrees Celsius, of course. Let's look at formatting for this, maybe. Hmm. So where would temperature be? Um, have a barometer that shows when the next temporal storm will be. Oh my God, Apache, that's brilliant. Oh my God, we could totally have it to where. Okay, so how would we check for the next temporal storm? Ooh. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna put that in here because it derailed me a little bit. Um. Oh my God, that's so good. That is so good. I can pretty much give you the code for that. Oh, that's cool. that's that's so good though. Oh my God. Don't worry, I once wrote a letter to Jim will fix it. Oh man. So yeah, this block is kind of getting away from me a little bit. I have no idea what that means. Hold on. So we got a raid. Welcome, welcome. Salty Brianna. Let's see. It's been so long. What is it? Slash shout out? Or is it exclamation shout out? I'm kinda really bad at this. Salty Brina. Did it work? Oh my god, it did. Hey, you were playing Vintage Story. Awesome. We are currently trying to welcome everyone. Welcome. We are currently trying to make a, I don't know, it's changed. First it was a calendar, and then it was a calendar clock, and then a calendar clock thermometer, and now it's going to be a calendar clock thermometer temporal storm countdown timer. We have a very basic thing. We had just worked on. We got our chimneys here that you can like turn on and off. Oop. And just kind of smokes up. We have beds, which I have to fix the bottom half of the bed. Paintings and stuff, from my nerdy past. The thing that we had just finished is I noticed there were no windows in Vintage Stories, so I'll go into the other world. It's going to be a lot better doing it from there. Boop. But I have two different kinds of windows in different styles. There's going to be wood flavors of it and cobblestone flavors of the windows. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bow. And it's going to take a little bit because I have that crappy calendar weather station, whatever I'm going to call it. It has like no textures. But there are windows that you can open and close. And I got the little little tidbits. Snow goes on the windowsill when it's cold enough. During the spring, I actually have this set to where it has a chance of attracting butterflies to your window. When your window's open, when your window's closed, that goes away. But if you have your windows open, there's a chance that the butterfly AI will it basically like sees it as a flower and then tries to come to your window. And yep, you have the little snow buildup, of course, and then you have advanced windows where you could take out a chisel and you can kind of do whatever you want. Make windows as big as you would like. Boop. So something like that, and it keeps the snow too. So yeah, that's kind of what we had just finished working on. Everything's pretty much good to go. Instead of pushing out the update for the mod, are those dead? No, okay. Wow, that one's ready to mate. All right, just sleep in the snow, I guess. But instead of doing that, I started to do things for this weather station. Season fall, date December 2nd, time. Yeah, that looks about right. So I'm going to have to get the temperature. I probably could just look at the mod, but I don't know. Those are gorgeous. Thank you. And I'm terrible with names. Friskane? Hey, welcome, welcome. But yeah. And the awesome part too is here I'll skip ahead. Time set we'll do 500. All right. Time set day. We'll do another 500. Okay, April's good. / time set day. Right, so the snow's gone, and then the fogginess of the windows goes away too. So when it's cold out, your windows fog over too. See, now you can see through it a lot easier. But yeah, and then I had to fix a bunch of other things in my mod because I haven't done anything since 1.16. So like my little gravestones, I had to fix the rendering behind that too, and the little offerings. Pop a window in there. Oop. But yeah, I'm just trying to add things to Vintage Story for my community server to, I don't know, just kind of make it feel a little, like fill in some of the gaps, right? It's weird. I think chimneys are one of my favorite things. Just because like there have been a lot of times in the past where it's like I would just look up and over the mountain I see the trail of smoke and I know my home's like right on the other side of that mountain. Kind of makes me feel more homey. Right on with the name. Most people butcher the name. Oh, all right. Hey, not bad. I'm doing well. But yeah, this is what we're trying to work on here. So far, it's the calendar. I don't think I like the way it looks. Like the original thought was, I guess we could circle back to it. Right, like that's the new version with the thermometer. I don't know. Instead of the Zelda thing, imagine it's like, spring, summer, fall, winter, like there'll be some kind of themed. I don't know. I'm not sure what I want it to look like. Do I just make it look like a little pad? I think of like the weather station that I have, but it's not really. I guess I could call it a weather station instead of a calendar. Advanced window, is that your mod? No, it is not. I think there used to be like a Windows mod. I don't. I think it hasn't been updated, so I just kind of decided to do it myself. This is the Vice Blocks mod. So I have Vice Blocks, I have the Rust Stones mod, and I have the Vice Machines mod. The Vice Machines mod I haven't looked at yet. I got the Rust Stones mod up to date because that was the least broken, just to get it out. So you got your Hearthstone and your Warp Stones and that. And then I had to redo this mod because this used to have my old style of Hearthstone. And then I wanted to, convert it, right? So I had to pull all that code out. And then since this was the first mod I ever made, I had a lot of like reformatting and rewriting of code to do because like this is when I was learning, and then I had then made two mods after this one, so my modding style has changed quite a bit. So it took a lot to kind of comb everything. I went everything from the shapes to the textures to just the logic itself. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. But yeah, and then eventually, like when I get this, so the goal was I wanted to add the couple more things and whatever people suggest for the community server. These are just the thing. Like it's crazy that there are no windows in the game, just natively. But then I had another idea for a mod where you could it would be like a pet mod. So think of it like Locust, but where you can like equip it with different things or give it different instructions and it would do different things. Like that's still very much a work in progress, but yeah, there are windows, but there. Well, yeah, I know there's like glass, but like windows, right? Like windows. These kind of windows. Even the little sounds, right? All right, so let's back out of this. Let's go back into the other world. The old test world, full of random stuff. I'm working on a pet style thing with Benji for his mod. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Great minds think alike. I just updated Napster today. Finally got us to keep napping. Only takes out voxels that it needs. Nice. I missed some of the chat here, just kind of reading it. They said they make the entire game a mod to show you what's possible. Can you write a Windows mod? Yeah, well, I mean, that's the whole gimmick, right? Like, this is built for modders, and, like the whole game is technically a mod. I really have to fix this. This is annoying. But I really like the fact that, like, you could put, like, the doll in, and then it took me so long to get that positioning right. So you're like, like cuddling up to the doll while you sleep. That took a lot longer. I think that took me like a whole night of just like, figuring out how to do the rendering and then like positioning it just right because of course this animal, like I had to recreate the stuffed bear because like I had created it kind of big and then I did some kind of shrink magic and it just wasn't really working right, so I had to redo that whole model. And then, after I redid the item, then kind of redo everything with the positioning in the bed. Yeah. But all right. So, calendar. Weather station? Maybe it should be the weather station. So far, we're going to have the season, the date, the time, the temperature. So for the temperature, let's get rid of this. Oh boy. How do we get the temperature? Actually, I get the temperature with another one of my mods. I think I get it. I think I touch on it with sleeping. Okay, so that's setting the speed time modifier. That's not it. Okay, so that's everything in fast tick. Okay, so I'm not getting the temperature of the server. I'm getting the entity's temperature, their current body temperature. So that's not going to help me out. That's unfortunate. All right, so we're gonna have to do a little snooping here. Did you know you can use a watering can to quickly cool down metal in a mold? That makes a lot of sense. I did not know you could do that, but that makes a lot of sense. I now know. That's pretty cool. So, do we think temperature would have to do with block? Get the fuck out of here. Returns to temperature. Okay. So, get temperature. Now what I'm going to do is I could fumble with the code, or I could look to see how it's being used elsewhere. Let's do block entity cooked container. So this API world looks like is what we're going to want to put in. The first argument was the one that I was worried about. And then the other one is the item stack. It would be this dot. Probably world? Or no, it would be... Is there just a quick item? No, there's not. Okay, this dot API dot world dot get item. But it wants an item stack, but I could still do this get item. Well, I would still need the item number. I could put it in statically. That's the first I've heard of that. That's useful. Yeah, right? I tried it earlier in either 1.15, 1.16, and it didn't work, so I guess they added it in 1.17. That's interesting. You said the watering can, right? Here, we're gonna... Watering can. Block... It'll probably be under block entity can. I want to see how they do it. Unheld interact. So we got seconds use. Oh, slot, item stack, temp attribute, set float, seconds use. So that's temporary attribute. Liquid is water. Okay, so set remaining watering seconds. So if this is not a bucket, you would think it'd have something to do with temperature. After so long. Unheld interact step. Get behavior, BE behavior burning. If burning is low, null, kill fire. So you can put out fires too with a watering can. Again, it makes sense, but I didn't think you could do that. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that's for farmland. I wonder if it's that burning thing. Maybe it considers. I don't know. That's interesting though. All right, I'm gonna continue on. Oh shoot, what was I doing? It was get item, right? I feel like this is definitely a roundabout way. Because like if I get item, it's gonna have to be an asset location, right? So new asset location. I could do VB references dot mod ID with colon plus we'll just do calendar dash spring dash north. Make sure I have everything. So that's that one, that's that one. Get block temperature. Which, you know, I think I am overcomplicating this. I had done this before, too. So I'm noticing a pattern. Let's go back to here. Let's go back to... Where is it? Crap. Crap! I went down the rabbit hole too far. Get temperature. That's what it was. Oh, copy. Paste. Are you kidding me? Block get temperature. Oop. We'll look at this one. So stacks dot length. So if stacks dot length equals 0 and stacks. So stacks is base get non-empty content stack false. Return int stacks array collectible get temperature. This API world stacks 0. Kind of feel like I don't know. You know, I want to try it. I want to try it. This is how we get better, right? I think I need to get rid of that. Nope, I got rid of one too many. Boop. So that's not going to be happy. I got to copy this part in as well. Stacks equals null. Oh, okay, so I would probably need that part too. So really, this is really just what get temperature does then. Wait a minute, why am I actually filling stuff in? Because I have to. Okay. Yeah, it's still not happy. That's temperature of the block itself, not the local temperature. Oh. So T climate at what star T climate at. Be right back, but check your chat for the answer. So then I could probably just do a search by, okay, so that's getting a block temperature. All right, let's do some searching. Nothing's coming up for that. World API block accessor. Okay, block accessor. All right, let's give it a try. Get rid of this. Okay, this dot, it would be what API dot world dot block accessor dot get climate at. Oh, cool. And then probably a position, right? Yep, it wants the position. So I could copy this. Yeah, look at that. Let's look at it from this point of view. Let's analyze this. Used by this. So get climate at. Let's analyze you. Used by. Uses. Block position. And so what is the int? Uses, yeah. All right. So I could do either way. I could do this dot position. Oh, there. You don't even need it. Duh. I'm like, I see the second thing. I'm like, what is the int? It's like int climate. Okay. All right, let me just fireball this in. And let's go back to first person. Ah, that feels so much better. looks like I'm not done. Oh my god, at first I'm like, when did I get the temporal storm timer working? No, that's just the time. Maybe I should comment that out for now. Okay, get climate at dot probably rain cloud overlay. Interesting. Fertility forge rainfall. Okay, so I could get temperature. Yeah. Okay, temperature. Boop. Check entity behavior, body temperature, on game tick for an example. Oh, okay. Temperatures 39. What? 39.13725. That's not good. I don't like that. So, okay. We will look at the what is it? Entity behavior body temperature. Let's hop into it and let's get the example. Probably don't want to put in temperature as a keyword. I probably want climate at. Here we go. Okay, so what do we have? Float temperature. Okay, we got some clampage going on here. Freezing strength. So what are we doing? Get climate at this entity position as block position. That's kind of good to know. Enum get climate mode for supplied data temperature only. This API in total days. Dot temperature. Really? Like all of this too? What does the calendar have to, like the total days, what does that have to do with the temperature? Seems kind of suspicious to me. I mean, this part kind of makes sense, right? Enum get climate mode. I don't know. The game hasn't steered me wrong yet. I want to see what this does as is. Okay, so this position, let's get rid of that, right? And let's come over here. This should be API. I'm curious. Oh, got another follow. Malachi. Thanks for the follow. Friskane, thanks for the follow too. I missed that. I missed it. I get focused, tunnel visioned. Well, 42.8. I can definitely say 42.9 that this is actually pretty close. Now this would just probably be manipulating, like rounding probably. 43.0. Yeah, probably. Temperature just keeps rising. Very interesting. Very interesting. Close enough. You missed my shall I unfollow? Hey man. I think I saw it. I don't know. I can't remember if I said anything. But yeah, it seems like if I round, it seems like it would be giving me the correct temperature now. That's good. That's very good. There's a time. I guess I could look at the temporal storm stuff. It might be used to change the temperature of blocks or items and chunks that have been unloaded for a while. Kind of like how food in a chest is unloaded, chunks still will still rot away. Oh, I that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. I don't like not knowing. I hate that my beds are broken. The sheets only go halfway if they go on at all. I'll have to fix that. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be it's probably something really really dumb that I did. Really really dumb. All right, I guess temporal storm. Temporal storm time. I mean this little station thing, it's going to God. This is gonna be one beefy little block. Time to the next temporal storm. Okay, let's start doing some investigative work. Temporal. Wow, if I spell it right. Man, I'm smelling the food. I have chicken cooking, like a gravy chicken gravy cooking in the slow cooker. Man, I'm hungry. Although it's like 3:05. Holy crap. I've been streaming. Oh my god, I've been streaming for a while. What is it you're making right now? So I took chicken breasts, and it's like a cream gravy kind of chicken, kind of pull it apart. And that like gravy chicken is gonna go over a nice bed of rice. Mmm. But it smells so freaking good right now. Oh my god. I'm kind of drooling a little bit. So I'll drink my soda. My sad 0 calorie, 0 sugar wannabe Coca-Cola. That sounds delicious. Or what about the thing in the mod? Yeah, right. Change this subject. Okay, so temporal storm config. Interesting. I want to take a look at. I know it's probably like system temporal store or temporal stability, probably somewhere in there. Who knows? I want to look at. Oh, wow. Yep, there it is, everyone. There it is. Oh, that one's great too. Initialize. The hell is on chat key down? Oh, that's how it changes out some of the characters, huh? Clever. Very, very clever. Oh man, I kind of wish I didn't see that. Like before, it was like a cool, like, oh, how does he do it? Now I've seen how the sausage is made, and it kind of made it a little less appealing now. That sucks. Are you making a sort of world monitor to get information about the world state? I guess at this point I am, Beanie. I mean, this was going to be just a calendar, believe it or not, and then I was going to make another item, the thermometer, that would tell you like outdoor temperature. Now it's kind of evolved a little bit. Now it's like a clock. Now it's going to tell you the time between like the next temporal storm, and I got to figure out what it's going to look like because this ain't doing it. I'm almost thinking I should just make it like a little picture, kind of like a maybe a little smaller, right? Just a little smaller picture, and maybe it will have maybe I could get fancy with the animation, and I can have like rusty gears be needed, and then I could have rusty gears that kind of like rotate, and then have like whatever the image is like for the season, because I still like that. And then maybe if a temporal storm is coming, I could have like an exclamation mark on the screen when you look at it, and it'll be like, temporal storm imminent, or how like when it starts getting closer, so you can look at it and be like, oh, exclamation mark. Uh-oh. Better stay indoors. Although, what I could probably do is I could probably push out the update for the mod, like, pretty much now. I can get rid of a few things. Here, we're gonna shut down the world, do a little cleanup here. So the thermometer item, not needed at all. Gone. Calendar, ah man, I got it's not a calendar. It's not really a weather station. What's a good name for this? And this is what takes so long because I get hung up on the smallest thing and I sit there and I ponder it because it's got to be the perfect name. Hmm. I got nothing. God damn. Almanac. Hmm. Almanac. Hmm. Almanac. Almanac. Maybe? Maybe. The more I say it, Beanie, the more I like it. An almanac. You know what? F it. Budget, right? I'm trying not to curse as much because I'm pretty sure Baby Triangle is picking up like a lot more than we think he's picking up. So I've been trying, even though he's not here, I'm trying to not curse as much. Um, but I think I've cursed quite a bit in this in this stream as is. I'm proud of myself for at least catching myself briefly, if anything. Almanac. Spelled it right? Yeah, yeah, I did. So that means that instead of calendar, I'm gonna have to change a couple of things here. So almanac here, let's copy. We're gonna paste this. I've got to come down to where it says calendar. We got to change the name. Man, Beanie, that is well done. That's what it's gonna be called. I gotta give you credit, Beanie. I'll take a picture of your guy and I'll make him have 2 thumbs up. You'll be in the background. Oh, could you imagine? All right, almanac. Got to scroll back to the top. Got to change it here. We got to change it here and change it here. Save. Now I got to come down to here. Instead of calendar, we need to swap this out. And then that should be almost it. Yeah, because I don't have any localization for this yet. So, yeah, that'll be it. Save. We're going to build. Ever since that update that I took this morning, yeah, it takes a little longer to build now. I hate that. I almost ignored it too. It's because it's an update to .NET Framework, 4.8.2 and a bunch of other things, and they messed it up. They made it slower. My poor computer is like limping along. It's gonna have its. I think it's between like late March, early April. This thing's gonna have its 10th birthday party. It's a grandpa. And I've been treating it like a young buck. My poor computer. Oh man. Okay, so what I can do here is we'll go back to the almanac. I can disable it. We'll set it to false. I'll do one more pass through. Pretty sure I have all the recipes in, but the gameplay loop should be just about done, and then I can push out the update for the mod. And then I can continue on the almanac. Yeah, see all the issues there. Oh yeah, I gotta make sure I should fix this. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to fix that later. We'll get rid of that block. All right, so /time set day. Oh, I think there was a couple things wrong with the bed. So for the storage bed, right, you could put the doll in, you could put the, well, kind of put the sheets on. But the item slots here are actually borked a bit. Like the first one you can use, I think you can use it like it's a general item, but the rest of them are not working. So that's another thing that I have to fix too. It's not really a storage bed if you can't store anything in it. All right, so let's go to that code. I'm going to close all tabs. We are going to come over to, where is it? Here we go, storage bed. I'm also going to pull this up as well. Take a quick look. Unblock interact. I love the little intentionally using one instead of two. Two is the correct code, but one bypasses the last code part. My crazy run-on sentence that made sense at the time. Oh man. Okay, so what am I doing here? Block entity inventory, pushing that through. Yeah, I didn't think there'd be anything crazy with this because I'm just pulling from the inventory. And then that's being able to sleep through a temporal storm if you have sheets on your bed. And then on block remove, that's the cleanup. Okay, so I don't think there's anything in here. It's all on the block entity. I'm pretty sure. So we have block 1, block 2, new block 1, new block 2. I think I only care about new block 1 and new block 2. And then let's come back up to here. I'm going to get rid of this because I'm going to want this to fire on both the client and the server. Okay, now let's build and start. God, Beanie, the almanac. I'm going to do it. I'm going to open up the Oreos of despair. I've had like 3 Oreos to eat all day. Maybe 4. All right. All right, bed. I don't like you and you don't like me. Let's try different cloth. I like red. Red's my favorite color. See, it flips it. Like it does it at first. Just the one time, apparently. Just the one time, sir. Very interesting. Whoops. I didn't mean to throw that out. Okay, let's see what it printed here. So it did it called it twice. Why did it call it twice? Blue head, blue feet. Blue feet and then air. That doesn't seem right to me. Possibilities are well, it's official. I'm now a baker on our server. Oh yeah. Beanie the baker. Oh, I want to maybe I'll hop on the server in a little bit and just kind of see how things are. I still got to set up my house. I think I did find right. I did move out. You helped me, Beanie, move out of my old dirt box. All right, let's scroll down. So why would it be calling this twice? That is the question on Fusion Tick. Now I guess the question is, I'm going to pop this open here. So I'm curious to see if it calls it multiple times here Or is there something like loopy that I messed up? So it did it only once, I think. Damn it. Okay, open and no, open and close. So I pulled it out. What did it say? New block. No cloth for the head and feet. So that part is correct. So this part is working. This part is the part that is borked. Look at that. Look at it just pumping stuff out, right? Like it starts here and it did it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 3 times on the client, 1 time on the server. Like what the frick? Oh my god. So it does have to do with this. Okay. Just so we're aware. I mean, because it's only these 2 print statements. That's it. It's doing it so many times. That's so weird. I mean, is it doing it too fast? Should I have more of a delay, maybe? No, because that doesn't make sense, because as soon as I put an item in, um, I gotta redo the wording on all this. But the text an item, and it definitely sees an item. 1, and then red. So it's detecting red cloth. The 1 is just my fat-fingered typo. The possibilities are endless. Well, it's official. I'm now a baker on our server. Oh, the possibilities are endless. Oh, I can't find the advanced window in the mod list. Yeah, I was gonna do some troubleshooting. I guess I can't push out the update. The beds are still gonna be kind of weird. You could still use them, but it's just gonna be half done, and you only have 1 inventory slot right now, even though you have the others. But yeah, I could push out the update. Let's shut down. See if I remember how to do this. Let's go down to mod info. I will make this a 2.0.6 version. Come back to the top. We're doing it live. Rebuild, baby. Now we're going to just pull this up. Vintage story, mods, vice blocks. Okay, so I'm going to want, make sure the timestamp, yep, is right. That, and that. We're going to do a copy. Send to zip. This zip, I'm going to cut this name so I got the formatting. This is going to be for 1.17.10 version 2.0.6. Okay, I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to shut down my environment. We'll load up the base game. Vintage story. My poor computer, it's struggling. It's crying right now. It's like the fat guy in a foot race. Just doing what it can to keep up. All right, vice blocks. Let's reload. There it is. Single player. Let's just do a new world. I'm going to delete temp because I want to name the new world temp. Great world. I'm going to spawn a couple of the items in to make sure like Windows still open and close. Just because it's working for me doesn't mean that it works like after I import everything. I'll make sure that all of the crafting recipes are still valid and should be good to go. I can see my pie rising to the oven. Oh yeah, you actually see your pie going up? Oh man, I'm gonna have to check that out. Oh, just stop, buddy. Just be a clockmaker. Ugh. So I gotta stop talking, damn it. All right. Vice blocks, here we go. We'll test the bed. We'll test this, and this. Test only one of those, one of those. Test a window. Test an advanced window. All right, so there's the window, open and closes. Yep, and it has all the correct orientations. For this, let's place it down slash, oh, before I do that, let's get a hammer. Steel's fine. And a chisel. Copper is fine. Slash time, oh, what am I doing? Slash game mode 1. Okay, so I could place it down. Oh, I got to put the hammer in my offhand, right? There we go. So that works, that. Perfect. You can cycle through everything. Now, if I have these on random things and I break them, it should drop the base items so they stack neatly. Yep. Yep, there's my stack of 2. Localization looks good. For this, localization looks good. If I have it here and I open it, I should be able to break it, and I get the closed version. Yep, got the closed. Okay, for the gravestone, I could put it down. I can open up the inventory. We can give it an offering. Boop. And it looks like it works fine. I need that offering. All right, pictures. There's the Sega memories, the SNES, and then the NES. I can cycle through all the pictures by holding Shift. Looking good. Yep, all of these. Yep, looking good. The Sonic ones, Earthworm Jim. It's awesome. All right. So those are working. Chimneys. So chimney is off right now. I can light it. Particles should start to form. Yep. And it looks like the smoke is good. I gotta eat the other half of my Oreo. Let's see. Quite fun. I can see my pie. Oh, holy crap. The thunderstorms in this game are intense. I just got jump scared by lightning strike overhead. What do you think? It was a creeper? Oh, that's what we can make. Someone should make the mod where it's like a drifter that's like a creeper, right? Something that looks different, walking TNT. That would be scary. Mm. Oh. Mm. Nabisco, what did you do to my Oreos? Not tired enough to sleep. See the rest of these not working. It's probably something dumb that I did. It's always something dumb that I did. But you can't put anything in those slots. Let's pull up times. What am I doing? Game mode 2. Let's pull up a comfort doll. And we'll use the husk. And we'll get some kind of sheets. We'll have orange sheets. Boom. It will work. That works. Not tired enough to sleep. That sucks. I can't test it. I know it's going to work, though. Okay. So that is that. Everything seems to be working well. Let's pull up the Vintage Story site. All right, let's go to mods. I don't think people mind seeing this. Holy shit, 72. And a lot of people commented. All right, so we are looking at Vice blocks. Eventually, later, I'll get different screenshots, put them in, because these are all pretty darn old. All right, so add release. Boop. Drag this down to here. One 1.17.10. All right, so removed bamboo blocks. This is going to be really short. Added 2 new windows. Fixed. Actually, at this point, rewrote the mod. I pretty much did. I'll put a couple stars. Known issue. Storage beds. Sheets. Storage bed sheets. Sheet texture does not properly update. Only one inventory slot is usable out of the 8. There we go. If anyone reads this, they will know. But I guarantee you no one really reads these anyways. And I usually put a lot of detail in there because I go to my GitHub and I just copy out all the detailed crap that I wrote in there too. All right, so let's save it. There we go. Now it's available for download. Beep. I really got to fix that description. Believe it or not, this mod started off because I wanted the NES pictures. And then I'm like, oh, let me go further. So it's like, oh, I made the chimneys, then I make the beds, then I make gravestones. And I was making things as like all my friends and I were playing. Like the gravestones, we had this island that we kept kind of it was like everyone's like home spawn because, we were too poor to get temporal gears. So we just kept dying over and over. And the first winter was rough. We didn't know, like, with food and everything, we didn't have enough. So there were a lot of deaths. So I made this so we could put them on the island, make like the island a little graveyard, and then offerings to them. you know, the reason why the cross is so low is because I had planned to be able to type like a person's name in, or like a brief description on the grave itself, on the tombstone part, but I just never got around to it. I just slept into a temporal storm. Ah, Beanie! That was practically a flashbang. My whole screen went white with it. Here's splitting crack. Oh man. So what you're saying, Beanie, is I need to make like a Thor's hammer in this game to where you could just call down lightning strikes on right click. Oh. All right. So there we go. Beep beep boop. Let's get rid of this so it doesn't come in conflict when I start my Visual Studio back up. I'm so hungry. I'm going back for another Oreo. I have no self-control. I'm so ashamed. Ain't got no self-control. I swear, they're making these different. Look at that. That is, like, pathetic. You can't really see, probably, but it's like, I don't know, the texture's different for the inside. Mm. No. It's like, it wants to be good. But I feel like they cut corners, right? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm tasting the depression. Mm. Okay, let's make this full screen. All right, these Oreos need to just go away. But that would require me getting back up to put them away. That's not happening anytime soon. Right, let's take a look at that. Inventory. I think everything is fine there. Yes, yes, yes. That is good. We'll fix the more pressing issue of only having a few slots. So max slots gives us 10. We start at 0, 9 is the last, and then we just cycle through everything else. That should be fine. But where else would this be? It would also be down here. Initialize inventory. Are we taking a single Oreo or a pack? Are we talking a single Oreo? I'm talking about just a single Oreo. Like I got the vanilla, just the original Oreos. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy. Because you could split them apart, right? And then the way they made the inside, it was like made separate from the cookie, right? You could like peel that off, and you got like just pure cookie. And the cookie part, and that's the part that I loved. I would always eat the inside first because that was my least favorite. Get it out of the way, and then I'd savor the cookie part. But with this, it's like it's a different consistency. Like you twist it apart, and it's just like smears. I don't know. Thumbs down, and it tastes different. Wait a minute, what is this? 100% sustainability sourced cocoa. Cocoa Life. Are you giving me fake cocoa? God damn it! Better not be. I gotta watch what I say. I said, God damn it. Cocoa Life works together with farmers to grow cocoa in ways that help protect people and planets. Now you're trying to guilt trip me into liking this, huh? You're like, but it's sustainable. It's sustainable. My fave is the inside. See, that's what Freya's like. Freya's like, you like the cookie part? I like the inside. I'm like, I don't know. I like the cookie part. That nice chocolate. It's the spot. All right, so let me get back to this here. What am I looking for? Inventory. Okay, so that's initializing the inventory for me. Get inventory stack limit 64. That's perfectly fine. I wonder if never mind. No longer wondering. This right here, this listener may be a little too aggressive. What if I give it an old 250? Have it do less calls. All right. So we made one change already, but it's not really a change I care about. I'm trying to just look at like spot check anything that could be out of place. Know what I mean? Did mount. Oh, that's for sleeping. I'm like, wait a minute. It was 100, 200 here. I changed it to 250. No, that's just sleep cycles. So this is stuff for the inventory then. On slot modified. Why am I regenerating the mesh and then I'm marking the server side as dirty? Why am I doing this here and not further down? right? Why am I should be doing that. On player right click. Don't care about that, don't care about that. On block removed. If that's how I have the array. On receive client packet. So I open it up. All right, all right. I wonder if it's with the GUI, the dialogue. I may have something wrong there. All right, so this is the dialogue here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 is cloth. No, so it looks like it looks like it's right. No, that looks right. That's correct. We're gonna close that out. Hmm. And then this gets called multiple times. I wonder if it's just because that's how rapidly it's doing it. Just got flashbanged again. When food is done sustainably, it's often garbage. Just grow the crops normal, darn it. Let nature take care of itself in regards to growing food. Yeah. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get rid of this. All right, we're gonna save this. I'm going to just start up the game and we're gonna start tinkering with things. Because it could easily be something as you know, like maybe it was updating things too quickly. Who knows? But if I did think that, then ideally I should come back up to the top and we should change that that variable. Where was it? Oh, it was in here. So we should change this wherever it may be. Here we go. So maybe I should do 500 on that. There we go. All right, build. Start. I bet you tomorrow. Like I've been so hung up on what that almanac is going to look like. I'll probably get on tomorrow, like right with the stream, or you know, right like not stream. See, it did it right in the beginning, and then it just. Damn you! You know what to do. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a delay. Oh shit, yeah. Okay, so I'm spamming myself a little bit here. Oh my god, I keep going to the wrong thing. The wrong window. Excuse me. So I kind of like that there's a little more of a delay. I think it was too overzealous before. This, however, I'm going to cut this out and I'm going to paste it in here. I'm going to call this no cloth. For this will be colored equals, there we go. Fireball it in. See, I don't like that it's doing this. Update renderer no cloth. I need to put an additional check in here. So if first code part 2, let's put a pipe in there. Plus, I'm going to look to see what this actually is. It actually is no cloth. So then if this block first code part 2, which should be no cloth, equals no cloth. So if it does not equal no cloth, then set it to no cloth. It's continuously doing it though. That's not what I was hoping for. I'm going to comment that out. So it's not going to reset it. So it's being overzealous with what it's trying to. So maybe I should not. Maybe I can't do equals in that sense. Like I can't do the reverse of equals like that because it's not correct. But that did fix the problem. If I switch to a different color, it's going to update. Right? Like I could pull out cloth. Let's use green. I kind of like green too. I haven't used green in a while. Boop. So that works fine. The problem is it's that when you take your sheets off your bed, that's what that part of the code's supposed to do. So it's supposed to say like, okay, it's empty. And then I do a check, right? I say this block does not equal null, right? Just in case it's updating as you're breaking something, I want to make sure the block is still valid, right? A little safety check. Who knows if it's ever going to trigger? At least if it did trigger, it would catch it and not crash someone's game. So what I want to do then is I want to look at what I have available. God damn it. What do I have available? It's weird. I thought equals would be what I want. To int to flow, see first. See, I'm not seeing anything else. Okay. Maybe I need to approach this differently. So what do? This is a valid block. I can get the blocks, that part of the code that I'm looking at. It says no cloth. Right? Actually, it should really be no cloth. If this equals no cloth. Oh. I think I had messed up my logic. Nope, I guess not. Damn it, I can't see what it's trying to do here. Hold on. Okay, cut this out, paste this. Okay, there we go. All right, fireball it back in. It shouldn't be spamming my chat anymore. There we go. I had the print statement in the wrong place. I don't want to talk about it. So I'm going to do a before and after here. So no cloth 1 and no cloth 2. Say fireball. Okay. Did I break a bed? I did. That's all right. We'll use this one here. Okay, so it's not doing it multiple times. Not as many times as it was. So it seems like lowering the time between checking has had an impact, but not as much of an impact. Damn it, I hate that. Just right click. There we go. I opened it up, so I removed it. And I want to look at the print statement for that. So it was blue. It set both of them. And then it's back to no cloth. Okay. That is what I expect. Now let's open it back up. Now let's put green in. So render update green. So what happens? The new block is green. No cloth 1 is green. Why is it calling no cloth at all? And then new block 1 and new block. So that's on the server. So it hit it on the server and then the client. So what it's updating it correctly and then something is coming back and then it's trying to update. It's like it's updating it back. It's almost like it's taken the bed, right, in the first position, second position, and then it's incrementing it and it does the calculations and it's like, okay, this is the first position, which was the second, and then this one is just air. That's weird. And it's actually calling the update render when it should not be. It should not be calling that. So then that tells me that, I mean, this inventory 9 dot empty. Maybe there's something more that I need to be checking. All right, you know what? Let's get rid of all these beds. Yep, get rid of you. I'll take the cloth. Boop, 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 boop. I think that's everything. I think that's all the beds here. I think so. Slash time set day. There we go. Boop, pop you down. I hate that I do that so often. Pop it in. Maybe there's something wrong with how you set the texture of the bed's foot end. Maybe it tries setting the texture, then resets it. Well, as you are the one planting the crap natures out of it, does the game tell an inventory when an item is put into it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So it's just it's calling this when it has no reason to call this. You know, why do I have this check here? If there's no item in the slot, I don't care what it says. I want it to set block. Oh, I think I had that so it wouldn't continuously like loop. See, it just will cut it off now. All right. Yeah. Boop. We're going to move that over. So I think I do need this. I do need this. It's just not. And you know, I bet it's something so small, some weird little flaw, and like maybe I have something reversed, right? Like I have the knot in a place where I do not want it to be. Oh, I mean, set block state. I'm going to get rid of this for now. step through it. So what do I do when I get the block state? I get whatever the string is that I'm looking for. So it's really whatever color is coming through. And I say, okay, block position, we're going to do a feet position equals position, right? Block position equals, and I think I do that just to give it something, because I'm going to change it anyways. But just in case I call something in the wrong order, I don't have to worry about it. All right, so I say, okay, if it's north, if the last code part, right, at the very end is north, south, east, west, then I'm basically doing a position copy in that direction, one space. So I'm getting the center of the bed, the head of the bed, and then I'm getting wherever the feet are, so I can get that block in that position. And then I'm creating two new blocks, right? Because the first block is going to be the head, the other block is going to be the foot. So I'm saying block accessor, get block, I get the position, and then I get the foot position that we found up here based on north, south, east, west orientation. And then I do asset location. Block code with variant cloth. So I am looking for this right here, cloth. There's no other cloth to, so there's no other confusion with it. It's in the second position, right? I have no cloth, and then I have all the colors. Oop, right there. So yes, this would indeed work. I look for the cloth, and then for the state, that is the string up here, so it would be whatever the color is. So I'm basically going to the cloth, right, this, and I'm putting in the color to change it. I'm doing it for both locations, right, both blocks. Coding with variant, I'm finding cloth, right, bam. I guess there is another way that I could potentially write this. Just in case something changed with code with variant and it was working before and it's not working now, I could do something like block dot first code part, right? And then this would be position 2. And then I can do dot, or and not dot, I could do in, see, but then it wouldn't be a LOC. Actually, I think it would. Interesting how I'm doing this. Because I'm getting the asset location. And then I'm doing a get block lookup before after that for the new block based on the asset location for the code with variant. Yeah, no, that should definitely work. That should work. Isn't this fun? Like modding, you got to go like step by step. No, so I was thinking of it wrong. So block first code part, that would just be like getting first code part. This is definitely what I want. And then I'm getting a block, the new block for new block 1, new block and new block 1. I got to do better with naming. I will. Probably should be doing it. And then this is a safety check here. I'm just making sure that there is indeed a block for both of these. Like it's a valid block. If it's not, it stops right there before we start changing anything, right? And then what do? Come into here. I say, okay, new block.id, right? Because we're exchanging the block and the position. So the new block is the head, new block 1 is the feet. So then that's the feet position. This block equals new block, right? That's it. And then we mark dirty. I just, I don't know. I wonder why I have that, this block, new block. That was weird, right? Yep, and then if I take it off, eh. All right, so what are we doing? No cloth, green, no cloth, green, no cloth. I don't know. This is something I'm probably gonna have to fix later. Oh, I've been modding for a long time. Oh God, had to have been. I think I started at 10:30 today, and it's like 4. That's probably why I'm hungry. So I think I'm actually gonna call it here. I'll poke at this later tonight. I find that I solve these things very quickly. Like I feel like I rabbit hole myself. And then when I take a break or come back the next day, I usually solve these kind of problems in like 5 to 10 minutes tops. Because it's like you get a fresh set of eyes that knows what the problem was, and then you look and you're like, that's it. One simple little thing is usually what it is. But hungry, you ate 2 Oreos. Yeah, right. Hey, I ate yeah, I ate 5 Oreos. I know my cup runneth over. All right, let's look at Twitch. Let's actually raid someone. I haven't raided someone in such a long time. Let's see if anyone's doing old vintage story. There we go. Rund Gong, springtime. Anyone doing any modding here? Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Let's look at. First of all, I like to pick someone who has a camera. So, I guess we'll raid KO Technic. Boop. All right, so we're gonna raid KO Technic. I believe I remember what I do. I do slash raid. Go. Exclamation raid. Oh my god, I do have something. Huh. All right. So, yep, we're gonna do a raid. Old Vice is going to get some food because I am hungry. I'm hungry for real food, not this Oreo stuff. Thank you everyone for watching me. This has been fun. If you download that mod, I hope you enjoy it. All the modding stuff's a labor of love. You know, I like a game and I like making things for the game I like, right? Probably will end up cycling back into Minecraft at some point, but I don't know. Vintage Story has got me. It's got me. And honestly, I think it's a little more fun making mods for Vintage Story. I feel like you got more flexibility than you would in Minecraft. But yeah, we're gonna do that, and then when I fix the beds, which again, right, like it probably won't take long. Then the almanac is going in, and if anyone has any suggestions on blocks to add, um, you can visit the Discord or just message me the ideas. Right? There's the Discord for anyone who wants to hop in. We have a community server, modded community server. Fun. Yeah, lack of metadata. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bibliothèque et des porte-torches en latin.
Oh.
Oh, engrenage, putain.